Hello there, I'm Colonel Failure, and you're watching a horse and cart towing 3 trucks. Or at least that's what it looks like. In fact, what you are watching is a horse and cart holding up 3 trucks, quite dramatically. Hilarious, but inevitable. So I've advanced the game by a year, effectively. I wanted to allow the game to a chance to upgrade vehicles without me stealing money all over the place. So we ended up making 700k profit last year, and we'd invested, or the game had automatically invested, 2 million in new vehicles, 500,000 of which was road, and then 1 new train. I had hoped for more new trains than that, but you know, that's okay. So we're doing pretty well. You know, revenues were up again last year, 15.8 million, up from 15.5 the year before. And long may this continue, because we're going to need the money if we're going to get anywhere near our objective, which actually early on didn't feel that ambitious, but now it starts to feel like, you know, it could be 50 years before we get close to completing it. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to keep playing through until we, collectively high-fiving and going, my gosh, that was pretty splendid stuff there. So what are we doing today? Well, hopefully I'm going to have the cash long enough to be able to connect Guildford here and Eastwood to a track that hits Loftus. And time and money permitting, we'll then double track this up, replacing the Loftus station in the process, and then into Maryport. This is a complicated move. Very complicated, because the loop that we're bringing in from Guildford originally came out through Neston and Bexley and Lisgard, right? So, and Worksop, right? So the ideal way back would be to go back through Neston to stay on the right side of the loop, but it's not going to do that, which means that it's going to be coming in on the Loftus line, which is this one here. And then it's going to want to go back out on the Neston line, which is the next one over. So I'm going to have to work some kind of funky junction around here to get this line back up into some semblance of what I need it to do. Maybe I'm making it sound more complicated than it actually needs to be. So stay tuned. That's what's coming up. Before then, I'm going to do all the station replacing I need to do. And hopefully it's not going to crash the game. For those who haven't been watching recently, game crashing is a thing now, and we just have to be a little bit gentle when removing stations. So let's get that underway, shall we? First things first, pause. The game is happier when it's paused. It's got less to think about on a moment-to-moment basis. So let's get a signal on there. So the reason we put a signal up is it isolates whatever traffic is on this track from the station. The other kind of causal factor of issues that we've got is the fact that these two are grouped. So rather than group those together, rather than ungroup them, which has caused problems in the past, we're just going to go straight for the delete, and our survey says no crash. Okay, solid. And then we're going to put in a new station. And we're going to actually have 4 tracks on this one. This is going to be a pricey beast, but it did fit in first time, and it wasn't particularly expensive. That makes me happy. We're going to need to change the Loftus line. Where's the train? Here. Okay. Waiting for it's going to Maryport. Wait, no path and waiting for a free. Okay, right, well, it can't get to Loftus Grand Central because that doesn't exist anymore. So we're now going to add just Loftus onto that, which should be fine. Waiting for a free path, perfectly acceptable. Quite happy with that. Although, if I'd have done this well, I should have some signals available for the young whippersnapper to carry on his route. Maybe that's just misreporting. Okay, we'll check in on that in a mo. Alright, splendid. So that's Loftus, ready to rock and roll, and what I'm going to do immediately is extend these tracks, lest the AI decide to get ideas with regard to expansion. Again, this is something that we've witnessed repeatedly, where the AI, in its bid to increase town size, will just slap roads directly in front of where you want to expand your train line, and it's a little bit annoying. So we'll do that now. I'm not happy about this wiggle here. I'm certain we could do that better. And maybe it doesn't need doing right now this minute. But actually, what might be worth doing now, I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, we could take a more gentle curve there. However, what I do want to do is I want to get rid of that section and build some road underneath it. As mentioned in previous episodes, if you want to get a level crossing built, the best way to do it, build the road first, try and get it perpendicular to where you want the track to go, and then track over the top, like that. If you try and build the road over the top of track, you will be out of luck. There we go. I think that's the kindest way of putting it. Yeah, you'll be out of luck if you try and put track over road, but if you put road over track, no. You'll be out of luck if you try and put road over track. However, if you try and put track over road, you will be fine. Yeah. Look, it makes sense. Just go with it, all right? Okay, right. Next deletion. Hold on to your hats. Do we say first? Yeah, I think we do. To not say first would be chancing it. And you know, it's annoying that we have to take these precautions. But to be fair, you know, I think the universe is just happy that I'm being cautious about this stuff. And obviously, that's going to want me to. That's not going to just let me put a station in there, is it? It's going to go, no, you're going to have to buy all those houses first, and that's going to cost me a pretty penny. So, nuts to that. There is the station replacement workaround. Now, why, with all this, did I not build sufficient track in the first place? Or, you know, sufficient station capacity, size, however you wish to word it, in the first place? Well, simply because it's really expensive. Especially when you're just getting started. When you're placing your first passenger services down, you don't need two, double-tracked stations. As much as it might be a lifesaver later on to do just that, you don't want to do it to start with because you're doubling your costs. Right, Bish East. What have I just got rid of? That's Eastwood, isn't it? Yeah. So Eastwood Grand Central no longer exists. Add station. Just plain Eastwood. Alright, I think that's us stationed up. Is that us stationed up? Loftus is done. Eastwood is done. Guildford is done. Alright, I might as well stay paused actually. I've got 3.5 million left in the bank, which should be enough to get us through here. Right, let's bash this over in one and see what it thinks. Okay, so holding a max speed curve round there is expensive. Still not completely sold I shouldn't go back through Bexley, you know. Now, we don't need to point that far. We want to point towards Loftus. Okay, I didn't like that anyway. Alright, let's try. So that's Loftus over there. Effectively, can we get up to 120? And obviously, you know, getting up to 120 is only as good as 120. It's not as good as 200, which certainly plenty of services, I'll crop the speed in order to get me pointing straight. Although the Eastwood line, where's the Eastwood station coming out? Eastwood's got to pull a fairly hectic U to get onto this kind of joined track. Right, okay, next. Right, I don't want to go uphill. I want to stay straight as much as possible, even if that means using a tunnel, which I think is probably inevitable, because otherwise we're going to be far too high up. Look at that. Look at just how high up we are over the other side of the river. And actually, that's made it a lot cheaper. Right about there. Okay, what's that done curve-wise to our speed? Nothing. That's all good. We will take it. Yes, sir. We'll also double-track it. Oh, yeah. Spend all the money. But then it's done. Crossing over the river here. No, why are you going down? That's better. Give us some stone. We'll take it. Okay, this should be the most expensive part of this this track laying odyssey. That should be the pricey bit done. This gives me some small hope. Right, well, we want to go this side of that T-junction, but to be honest, that doesn't bother me too much because I'm just going to move it. Eat that. Right, they all need to relink somehow. So how about we relink here? Actually, you didn't need to delete all that, but, you know, it makes you happy doing so, so why not do it? There we are, then bang the track across. Yeah, let's put a little bit of a bend just to get out of the way of the rest of that road, that's fine. We'll also send this across at the same time. I might as well, you know, while double tracking is cheap, might as well double track. Actually, let's make sure we can actually complete that bit, shall we? Yeah, that's good. And then we'll start to ease round in the general direction of Lofty. Oh, I've got a doubt in the back of my head. I've got something that's telling me that there's a bit of road somewhere that I haven't reconnected. And while, you know, I'll look at that. Yeah, make them drive that. Yeah, so, you know, while I shouldn't care, obviously, you know, that might have unforeseen consequences. Alright, here we go. Out towards Loftus, where there are now stations, platforms galore waiting for me. Terrain alignment collision. What are you colliding? Oh, you're a bit of road. Okay. That's broadly in the right direction. Get across the road. Yep. Just like that. Once you figure out, if you watched my original playthrough of Train Fever, I mean, you know, one of the running themes was an inability to cross roads, an inability to get tunnels and bridges bent comprehensively to my will, and it just takes a little while to figure it out. I mean, there's a couple of tricks. So bridges and tunnels are, you know, you can resolve the hassle of laying those guys out by connecting end to end rather than trying to connect all along the way. 500,000, you are having a giraffe, my friend. Let's go as far as there. Right, that's yeah, see, look, we've already saved ourselves a bit of cash off that. And don't get me wrong, it's still going to need one of those, but that's okay. Yep, and into there. Right, groovy. Alright, so that's Guildford hooked up to Loftus. That's a pretty big accomplishment to still have 1.4 million left in the bank. Next trick, getting this guy over onto the line there. And I don't want to do it in too steady on, in too curvy a fashion. So let's give them an 80 km/h curve just coming in and out of the station. As mentioned previously, that doesn't matter too much because trains are going to be either accelerating or slowing down on that station approach anyway. Right, let's build a street there to go across. Should have done that beforehand, obviously. And that should be okay. Yep, good. It has reduced the top speed that they can do a little, but, you know, I'm comfortable enough with that. That's all right. And then let's hook that bit of road up to the rest of the network. Why have I done this? Well, you've watched enough to know already, and if you haven't watched enough, I'm going to tell you now. Largely, we want to make sure that that towns continue to expand on both sides of the station. Because otherwise you end up with your station and your track having effectively segregated your town from what will remain wide open landscape. Okay, do I actually want to put everything down one track, or should I just quad track it down here? No, I think I do. I think I do, because it gives us options. Okay, alright, well, make it happen then, smart man. Yeah, so we're going to quad track it to get across the road. Which is, you know, mad. And then we'll work some points onto that. Or am I just making... Am I making busy work for the sake of it? No, actually, because what I don't want to have to do later is have points too close to Maryport. I want to get trains onto the right track before they get to Maryport. Right then. So I basically need 4 sets of points in and 4 sets of points out. Okay, well, yeah, evidently you like a challenge. So let's do this, and I haven't thought this through particularly well. I don't mean in the sense of do I actually need points here or anything like that. No, it's more that I haven't thought it through with regard to what am I actually going to need here. And I probably won't know until I've got both loops up and running in both directions. So we're looking at, and you know, our existing forecast is around 50 years of game time. All right, this is this is going to be a fairly hectic junction, this one. And I'm going to need to go a little bit further as well. Are you really? Yes, I am. As it happens, I am. Because we also want to go in the opposite direction. And I don't want to run out of space. Okay, fine. So, yeah, we will have this going this way as being slightly slower. Now, this is, you know, this will pay for itself in spades if at some point we've got, like, you know, 6, 8 trains. No, we don't need that. 6, 8 trains all charging up and down here, switching lanes all over the place, and no one getting hung up at all. It will be absolutely magnificent if I can get that to happen. And that's the plan, certainly. The original plan, to restate the goal, is to have, you know, the incredibly huge Maryport hub. Let's... oh, look at that. That's pretty spectacular stuff. Pretty impressive. Okay, let's get some money coming back in, because I think what I need to do next is expand. Well, not expand. Replace this Maryport line so that it's actually going to serve the purpose I need it to do. And we need to merge this line into the mix as well. So it would be a good time to kind of fix both. Look at this. Look, what a mess. Who designed this? A chimp? It was you, dear boy. Oh, yes, of course it was. Well, I you know, descended from a chimp, I suppose. Anyway, right, so, yeah, so the Maryport to Loftus line. This is going to be complicated. All right, I'm going to need some final thought on that. So let's worry about that in the next episode, because that feels like a proper monster of a project. What have we actually got waiting here at the moment? The usual kind of Mary Neston and Mary Port's incredibly effective but clearly not running often enough passenger service. Come on, you pull your finger out, get the lead out, get the dogs out. Let's put another one on that. Actually, let's buy ourselves a happy-go-lucky Mac and stick that on Mary Port 2. It's amazing the stuff you can actually recall at shortish notice. Nothing's lining up, of course. Lighting up. All right, cool. Let's go and have a look and see how this goods area is doing. Simply because we're in the area, and I just want to round out the episode. So we are still working with Horse and Cart here. I would have expected them to start to look at upgrading their vehicles. Let's have a look and see what we've spent this year on upgrades. 1909, as mentioned, we paid 2 million on upgrades. So far this year, we've only spent 69,000, and that was the one that I just bought. Although, to be fair, I have had it on pause for quite a long time. Okay, that's a valid point. Okay, well, things are positive. Where are we? We're in August, and our revenues are at 11 million for the year. That's pretty remarkable. That is pretty good. How's this oil refinery doing? Well, we've got up to the second upgrade, so the limit's now 100, and with a bit of luck, that will increase once these horses and carts are replaced with trucks. I don't think we've got any on this line yet. Let's have a quick look and see if we've got anything motorized. No, we've got nothing motorized on the line yet. But it can happen any time, and we've got the kind of the bandwidth, the supply available to make that work. What's going on over here? Bingham. Again, no trucks. Give me more trucks, people. They're the future. They make things happen quickly. Same with the lumber. Nope, nothing fast happening there. Now, something that does cause me, a moment of ponderance is setups like this. And I don't mean this one specifically. It could be anywhere on the map. But we've got coal mines and we've got iron mines that aren't servicing anybody right now. So if we were to set up a train line to pick that up and take it to a steel mill, almost no matter where that steel mill was, we could be certain that it wouldn't try and ship its goods anywhere else. In fact, now that we can sever the road, it will have no choice but to ship it via me. So maybe that's all right. I tell you, you're right. Yeah. All right. I know. I promised that I wasn't going to get bogged down in cargo lines in this playthrough. So let's just leave that one out there, shall we? Let's just leave it as a notion, as a potential for something that could happen. Oh, I think I've figured out my Loftus problems. In fact, I've figured out my Loftus problems. All right. So here's how it's going to work. These two lines here coming out of this side of the station are going to connect up with the with what we'll call platform 5 and 6, right? So that allows it to go straight back out towards Neston, whereas the other side will come into platform 7 and 8. There we go. That's how we do that. That's how we do that. All right, excellent. So should there be any switching at all? No, there shouldn't. There was actually probably no point. The reason I put those points in the first place is I was considering there for a moment of having all of my clockwise services coming in this side and all of my anti-clockwise services coming in the other side. I thought that might look quite cool, but as it turns out, don't need it. Anyway, the upshot is the same. That's going to work. Right, just to round out the year, what have we got? 14.6 made this year. We have bought a couple more road vehicles. That's good. No more trains, though. That bothers me. I'm certain we've got some trains that need upgrading. Let's have a look at this. Details of this train. 16 years old. Not even due replacing. Okay. I desperately want the loop to start paying for itself. It's being what's the way to describe it? Less unprofitable lately. 24 years old. Okay, so that's got another 6 in it. Details. 19 years old. Another 11 years in that one. 26. 4 years left. And 28 years. 2 years left. Any more on that line? There should be more. Lots more. Train 8. 29 years. 1 year left. Okay, that's better. 25. Yeah, okay. I think what's probably going to happen there is we'll reach a tipping point where it's actually going to be worth my while to scrap existing services on there and replace them with the latest tech. We'll see. Anyway, thanks for joining in today. I've been Colonel Failure. What did we finish up? We finished up 15.9. Up again. Go us. With a significant bit of track built last time. Next time around, we're going to connect up Maryport. And you know what? Instead of this point-to-point stuff that I was umming and ahhing about, I'm not going to do that. We're going to set up the second loop. Because that's why we're here. So why not tune in for that? Leave a like, subscribe if you've not done so already, and I'll catch up with you very soon. I've been Colonel Failure. This has been Train Fever. Thanks for watching. Cheerio!